write stories on her work computer all day long. Yeah.
Well, that's a good reason.
But take note that she didn't start off as a writer. She was working for a company. But even though at that time, while working at that company, she is interested in writing. But that's how.
What was the job there?
I think she was a secretary. And second person is Oprah Winfrey. Who watches Oprah Winfrey here? Guys don't watch it. So she was an evening news reporter and apparently got fired because she couldn't sever her emotions from her stories. Eventually, she was fired from the producer of Baltimore's WJZ TV. So she didn't start off again as a TV personality, but she started off as a reporter. Third one is Elvis Presley.
Okay.
Maiba, can you read that for us, please?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. After performance at Nashville's Grand Ole Opry, Elvis was told by the concert hall manager that he was better off returning to Memphis and driving trucks, his former career. Wow.
So he didn't start as a singer right away.
With the drivers.
And the last one, Thomas Edison.
It's not the one on the $100 bill, huh?
Yeah. Somebody, can you read that first?
Thomas Edison, he worked at Western Union, where he used to secretly conduct experiments. Then, one night in 1867, he spilled some acid and it ate through the tadpole. He was fired and subsequently decided to just pursue inventing full time.
Alright. Now, watching those pictures, I want you to answer two questions.
Ooh.
What similarities do you find about them?
They were all fired.
They were all fired.
They're all famous.
They're all famous.
They did
Yeah.
something good.
Right.
I mean, they,
Well, before they were fired.
Yeah. They were fired, and then
They became famous after.
they got to where they are right now. The second question is, what were their hobbies, interests before they landed in their careers? For example, Elvis Presley. What was he interested about?
Singing.
Singing, yeah. But what's his job before he became
Truck driver.
a truck driver? How about Oprah Winfrey?
Reporter.
Reporter. Thomas Edison,
Bank.
the bank. Before Western Union, yeah.
Yeah.
And then J.K. Rowling, what was she?
secretary.
Secretary
before she,
whatever.
yeah, before she wrote the Harry Potter books. Now, as you can see, some of these people's interests in the past, predict the kind of career that they had in the future. But some of those people also have hobbies or interests that did not, somehow predict the kind of careers that they will have in the future. So when we say career, again, it refers to jobs that has a long-term basis. Okay, and so there's a huge difference between jobs and careers. Jobs are often short-term, like working McDonald's, working PCC as a dishwasher. You don't want to have that as a long-term career for your family, yeah?
That's what people do.
Some people.
Now,
for 40 years.
yeah, but some people, though hardworking they are, sometimes it's just a regular job that doesn't.
Some people make their job a career.
Yeah. But if the job doesn't lift them to a higher paying job or position, then sometimes they get tired of the job.
Yeah, true that.
Now today, as we were discussing about career planning throughout the week, we are going to sum it up as a class and at the same time discuss with one another so we can come up with a stand and back up your stand with reasons. Now, we have outcomes today that can help us, that could help guide the lesson all throughout. Now, can I ask anyone to post it on the board and reasons why hobbies or interests predict future careers. And on the other side, reasons why our interests and hobbies do not predict future careers. Does that make sense? Because our question is, do hobbies or interests predict possible future career? So you write that on the right side, reasons why hobbies or interests predict future career, and the opposite on the other side. I'll give you 3 minutes to do that. Now at least put 3 reasons on
Oh.
either side. So,
Right.
attention. At least 3 reasons.
Eso es pros and cons.
Oh. All right. Are you all done?
Yes.
Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're gonna do a head count. Okay. Starting with Maiva, you are
1.
1,
2.
2, and then
And
1, 3.
you're 3. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna select a number so that we all can share our opinions. Okay. Now let's choose number 2. And what have you written so far in your paper?
So, I wrote more on the not predict future careers. So,
For music nature.
yes. So here's my reason. So, there's a difference between influence your decision of career and predict your future career. So, while your hobbies and interests can influence you, and obviously you're going to be more motivated to work towards a career that you are interested in some capacity, whether it be math or music or science or whatever, biology doesn't matter. You have to be realistic about it. And so there's lots of different factors in that are not only hobby related. You got to think about the time commitment. You got to think you have to pay the bills somehow. What if your interest is not very attuned to making money. And just the reality of it, not every interest can be a career. So you have to be realistic about your expectations of what you want from your hobby or interest.
That's right.
Yeah. I really like it because, for example, I know of a student who just graduated from biology and she wants to pursue a medical career, but pursuing that career will take time.
So she's a McDonald's.
What?
She works at McDonald's.
No, she works at the call center. It's ironic, yeah.
Fuzzy Lauren.
Yeah, so there are, I like it when Spencer said that there are outside factors affecting our career options in the future. So it may be your interest or hobby now, but somehow there will be like factors to consider along the career choosing time. Okay, Spencer, pick a number from 1 or 3.
3.
Okay, 3. Okay, what have you written so far?
Okay. On the no side, I put it does not pay the bills, which is true. So the hobbies, you can be good at doing something. Like sometimes, like for example, in Tahiti, where I come from, I have a lot of friends. They're really good bodybuilders. Like they surf a lot. They're really good, but that doesn't bring money on the table. It doesn't bring food on the table. So they're really good at doing what they're doing, but if it doesn't pay the bills, it's not really good. It doesn't predict a good career. And also, sometimes I would say for music people, so when they do go into the world and try to make money out of music, like people playing the subway or whatever, and then they're good, but they only get like what, few coins, few dollars, and what happened next is they lose interest. They're like they realize that I shouldn't have played music. I should have gone and studied accounting or whatever. So they lose interest. So it all depends.
Yeah. So later on in their life, they realize that it's not only them that will be affected in their career options, but also their families, their kids. Yeah. How about Naiva? Let's go to the last number.
For me, it goes for yes.
For yes, why?
Yes, because hobbies can always help you because you love what you do, and if you really love what you do, you just do it. For example, I love teaching dances, and I see now how it's just a hobby for me. It doesn't matter if I get paid or not, but seeing the kids dance and the parents, the faces, like they're so happy, it makes me happy because it's not the money, it's how you make people feel.
So,
Because when I die, I won't take money, but I'm gonna take those kids.
so there's a certain satisfaction that you feel
Yes.
Personal.
Personal.
your job, yeah.
But at the
So-
same time, it gave me that interest at teaching. It gave me the motivation to come back to school and to know how to teach the right way.
It's wonderful.
See, now I'm gonna make money because I'm gonna teach.
Okay, any other answers that you put on the side of yes that's not on the board?
Yeah, you never know what God has in store for you.
But
You never know what God has in store for you.
okay, it's like
It's just it's better to do what you like than doing what you don't like.
Yeah, there's a say that if you love what you do, it's not a job.
Yeah, it's never gonna be a job, but it's gonna be
yeah.
a career.
Yeah, I heard someone said that if you, because sometimes in the education system we focus on what the students are doing like worst, like hey you're failing your math, or you're failing your English class, but they said that when you focus on your on the things that they do do their best and they just become average. But if you focus on their average or what they're doing, what they do best,
And
then they
go up.
try and then they'll become excellent. Okay, so
I think it's like looking at a person, as a physical, but at spiritual, internal perspective. Because you see the person, right now, but far away.
that's correct.
Yeah, I have a friend. He lives in Australia. He's a truck driver. He gets a lot of money, especially when he works on Saturday. He gets double. He gets like $22. And but he said this is not what he wants to do. So he's just doing it for the moment, just to get money, I guess, because of his kids and got to pay the bills somehow. So, but what he shared with me was like, oh, what I really like, I like to blow things. So he showed me a video and he was on training. He's trying to get a certificate in exploding mountains or whatever. But it's like a specific step.
So what got in the way of him doing those things that he liked?
The kids, he
Kids.
moved from Australia to he was from Canada and then he moved to New Zealand,
Vacation.
Caledonia, Australia.
And then I saw some of the people like that. For example, my husband, he studied in school for to have a career in programming, and each time he told me, I like my job. I was like, I don't care, but you stay over there. But my son, he's trying to get my son to do a technology thing,
Yeah.
and my son's like, he tried once this semester, and he told his dad, no, I want to do something that I'm gonna love doing it after school. And it's the same thing. It's like you have to combine those two.
So as we can see in the board, there's really no like one answer to this question. Yeah. Now at the back of your paper, I want you to make a stand, okay, and then put the reasons that you've written to support your stand. Okay. For example, if your stand is hobbies or interests predict future careers, you put that as your stand, and then you write this as your as a support for your stand. Okay, I'm gonna give you 3 minutes or 2.
Time. Let's go.
So as you're writing, let me just ask, were all of you able to share your opinions about the topic during the discussion?
Yeah.
How did the discussion went?
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Was the discussion relevant to real life situation?
Yes, because we're students and we're at the culminant moment, point in our life where we gotta decide whether we want to do what the society wants us to do or what we want to do.
Oh, nice.
Deep.
Now,
So it's deep.
okay, now for to close this lesson, I want you to close your eyes and then to yeah.
You wanna bring food? Where's the food?
I want you to close your eyes and picture out in your mind the career that you want to have in the future. Like, do you want to be a musician? Then imagine that you're a musician. If you want to be a doctor, imagine that you're a doctor right now.
Alright.
Now, second, I want you to identify the interests, hobbies that you have right now, and then answer these questions. Will those interests or hobbies get you to the career you want to have in the future? Right. Now imagine that you already have your career right now. Okay, you're a doctor. If you want to be a doctor, you're a doctor right now. Okay. Now I want you to write in your paper what interests or hobbies do you think a person should have in order for them to land in that career. So if you're a doctor right now, write that in your paper, the interests and hobbies that a person should have so that they can be a doctor someday. Or if you're a musician right now, then write down the hobbies.
Alright, we gotta watch horror movies.
Oh, do you want to be a director?
No, if you want to be a doctor, you gotta watch horror movies.
I just want to say today.